Welcome to the Living in the Zone podcast with your host, Jim Fannin. This is your front row seat into the minds of champions. As a master mental performance coach, Jim will pull back the curtain on the hidden strategies that drive peak performance in sports, in business, and in life. If you're an athlete, coach, entrepreneur, or just someone who's ready to level up mentally and step into your greatness, you're in the right place. Welcome to Living in the Zone.
Who is in the zone? What a great question. Who's in the zone? What does that mean, who's in the zone? This is a performer that has a high level of discipline. They know exactly what they need to do, and they're going to do it. They're focused, they're present, they're confident with optimism, they're calm and cool, especially when the money's on the table. They're clutch because of that. They can execute the basics at those crucial moments. And they love the challenge. They love the bright lights. They love the big moments. Let's see who's in the zone. And I'm going to take it right off the top.
Let's hear it, Jim.
It's Buddy. Everybody loves Buddy Hield. Anyway, Buddy Hield had 9 3-pointers, locked in his own state. Why? Well, they double-teamed Stephen Curry. Curry was facilitating Buddy. Buddy knew that was happening. He was wide open. And that's usually when you choke. You know, when you got a wide open three and you got plenty of time. Those are, you can brick those. Sometimes we're better when we got no time, no thought, boom. But Buddy was big, 9 threes. He's the reason really that the Warriors are now in the second round, in the zone. Who else is in the zone? Jokić. Nikola
Joker.
Yeah, the Joker. Unbelievable. 42 points. 22 rebounds.
How do you have ball's a magnet?
How do you have 22 rebounds? And he only had 6 assists, I believe. Five assists, assists, I think. But they just said, you're not a facilitator. We're shutting down, passing into the wings. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to score. And he's like, okay. And he just backed everybody down, shot the three, or backed them down.
At all levels.
And had little tip-ins, really. Definitely in the zone.
He put the zone on like an overcoat, would you say, Jim?
He put it on like an overcoat. You know, the zone feeling is contagious. It's a purposeful calm simultaneously. It is a high level of SCORE, our score system. Score is designed to put you in the zone state regardless of what you do. So we're always fascinated by the bright lights and how performers do. Everybody's good in the regular season. Let's see how good you are when the money's on the table.
Exactly.
And that's who's in the zone. Who do you have in the zone, Ryan?
Speaking of the bright lights in the postseason, I got the Winnipeg Jets.
All right,
just won Game
ice.
7, but in dramatic fashion. Down 3-1 with 2 minutes left. They score not 1, but 2 goals, and that second goal with 1.6 seconds. That doesn't happen.
That's
Golden
crazy.
Rule broken. The reason why the Jets...
Even with an empty net, that doesn't happen.
Oh, my God.
Happen, right?
Then double overtime, they end up getting a deflection to score and to win it. Place goes nuts, and the Jets were the best regular season team by far. But the reason why the Jets were in the zone is because they were so present. There was so much presence with those last 2 minutes. They weren't thinking, oh my gosh, we were the best team in the league, and now we're going to blow it, we're going to choke. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's happening, and at our home ice. They said, no, what's the next play? What's the next pass? How do I get the puck onto the net right now to get us back into this game?
And I think that's coaching.
And this is a first-year head coach. Very impressive for him to do it. But on the flip side, the Winnipeg Jets, by doing that, were forcing the Blues to say, we can't choke this. We can't choke right now. We're up 2. We can see ourselves drinking the champagne, but what if we blow it? So I don't think the Blues were in the present moment whatsoever.
I'm going to the golf course this past weekend for who's in the zone. For me, it's going to be Scottie Scheffler.
Wow.
Scottie gets his first tour win of the 2025 season. CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, kind of back in the hometown, McKinney, Texas, outside of Dallas. Scottie goes out and lays down a 31 under over 72 holes.
I think it was minus 12 in the first.
Minus 10 first
minus
round.
10.
Minus 10.
I had a guy minus 4, and I'm like, we're in the hunt. We're there. Well, anyway.
And Scottie just, day after day hit a high standard and tied the PGA record. 31 under over 72 holes, tying the PGA record But I mean, one of the amazing stats from this weekend, when you look at Scottie against the field over rounds 1 through round 4, Scottie wins that tournament outright against the field. So he was in an extremely high zone state. The one thing that I want to highlight with Scottie Scheffler is that concentration and optimism, because not all the time does Scottie find the exact center of the fairway off the tee box, but he never has an emotional reaction. After that shot, it's always next.
Yeah,
it is next.
That's our battle cry.
He's a baller
and he embodies that. There is no knee-jerk reaction, no emotional reaction after a shot. It's, okay, I'm going to go up and I'm going to hit this next shot.
I've coached a lot of guys that were sitting on a 54-hole lead, and I had to talk with them through the night. They were just freaking out. I mean, sitting on a lead 54, especially if it's a major, it's a pretty daunting if one's never done that before. But he's been around, but to lead wire to wire with that standard, I'm excited to see his next event. You're only as great as the tournament after greatness. If I was coaching Scottie, the first thing I'd be telling him, my clients hate it and love it. They love it because they're obviously doing well. They hate it because I'm not going to celebrate with them.
Back in the trench, as you always say.
Get back in the trench. Being in the zone. We also had the University of Miami baseball team. I'm coaching.
They're on a zone run.
Coaching the coach of that team, J.D. Ardiaga. He's amazing and really is in touch with the mindset of his team. But they've got some big upsets. They were not even close. They were in the bottom of the conference.
Yes.
They're now middle of the pack, rising.
Climbing. They're right at the top now.
They're at the top.
They
After
just
that
took down Georgia Tech, who was a top record in the ACC at that point about a month ago. Swept Boston College, and now they just took down NC State for 2 games, who was now at the top. And they were going to win the third one, but it got rained out. So NC State got lucky, but they've got some zone performers. Daniel Cuvée, their power guy. I mean, he's the whole country's talking about him, so he's in the zone. And you know what he's doing? He's doing a lot of our techniques that we can see, and it's exciting to watch with his relaxation level specifically. So
Ogden's stealing home.
Jake Ogden just totally locked in and saying, I got this. Give me a home plate right now. He was on the top 10.
Yeah, it's exciting because when we were there, they were in trouble. They were going the opposite way. So JD is kudos to him. JD, you're in the zone. Well done. And very proud of Miami baseball. And if you want to find out your missing link, the missing link that's going to open up your life, your business, your sport, taking you maybe not the next level, maybe 2 next levels above you. If you want that, wouldn't you like to know what's holding me back? Well, we've got something that's going to show you exactly what's holding you back, and that's our assessment wall. Check it out. There's assessments for life, business, and every sport. And take them. I'm cautioning you, these assessments are based on the mindset of Gold Glovers, Olympians, CEOs of the Fortune 10, not 500, Fortune 10. All clients that I've coached, check out the analytics, go down below, take any of these assessments, and you're going to find out the missing link, and you're going to find out what you need to do to go to the next level, to be in the zone. And don't forget to subscribe. Give Jimmy some love. Come on, Zoniacs. Let's get our subscriptions up so that we can change the world. You know we can do it one person at a time. Subscribe. Who is not in the zone? Well, Boston Celtics set a record for 3-point attempts, 60. I can't even imagine it. It's an all-time NBA record. They threw up 63 pointers. They've been living and dying by it. Well, they died by it last night, and 45 misses. 63. You know, at some point you think, maybe I should post up or drive to the basket. But they did not make one adjust. It just kept firing. And I suspect when they come out, they'll do the same because they have the confidence that, well, that's not going to happen again. We're going to make it. But they were not in the zone. Do you have a not in the zone?
We're going to go to the baseball diamond. with closing pitcher Emmanuel Clase. So for those who don't know, Emmanuel, with the Guardians, stud. Reliever of the year last year.
Cleveland, Ohio, Guardians.
Yeah, Cleveland Guardians.
For you old Indian fans that forgot there's a new name.
And last year, he had a total of 3 blown saves all year, and he led the league in saves. This year, to start the year, he already has 2 blown saves, and he's got a +6 ERA. He's walking guys, he's giving up hits. He's not the same guy. Now, his manager still believes in him, which is why he will be fine, but lately, to start the year, to open it, he's not in the zone, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because he ended the season last year not throwing great in the playoffs against the Yankees. He gave up a bomb to Aaron Judge to tie the game, and then right after him, Giancarlo Stanton, dead center home run to take the lead. So now, the Guardians end up winning that game.
So you think there's some residue?
There's some residue. The Guardians won the game, but the impact on Clase's subconscious took a toll. See, all offseason, I believe that he was replaying that game over and over and over and over again. And not to what he didn't realize what he was doing, but by doing that, he was taking a hit to his optimism and his confidence levels. Now he's a little bit hesitant this year, I believe. I believe he's not full throttle when he's throwing to the glove. He's a little bit like, oh, I got to show people that I still got this. So you still got it, Emmanuel. But
I think you may be right on the money. However, we can't just assume what he's thinking. He could have a family challenge. He could have a nagging injury challenge that he doesn't want to tell anybody about. You know, in baseball, you don't want to tell your manager every little ding and nick you have. You don't want to do that. In fact, I want to be on the field, so I'm going to go even my shoulders tense or whatever. So it could be another arena that's impacting him, but I think you're on the money. There is a correlation from last year into this year.
I know that if we were coaching him, we would make sure to address that specific scenario immediately. Mentally, we must strike out Judge and strike out Stanton and close that door. Let's move on to the next.
Well, that would have been the night of that game.
Yes, that would have been the night of, immediately after. So, anyways, Emmanuel will be fine.
Who's not in the zone for me? It's going to be another NBA team over the weekend. This was in a Game 7. Talk about money's on the table. Game 7, first round. I'm just going to read the plus-minus for the starters of this team. -33, -11, -17, -29, -31.
Now, this team didn't win, did they?
This team did not win with those numbers.
How do you have that?
The Los Angeles Clippers. And one area that I want to target during this is, Jim, you talk about the crunch time, closing the first half, showing those final minutes of the second quarter, and then opening the second half extremely strong. And some of this is definitely on coaching, on game plan. I believe some of this can fall on Ty Lue, especially the way they opened that second half, but they were beaten by 20 points over the last final minutes of the fourth into the second quarter, opening the third quarter, the first 4 minutes, 20-point deficit.
You know, I've had a lot of conversations with Doc Rivers. I worked with Doc at Orlando and with the Celtics, and he thought it was 8 minutes. First 2 minutes, he said, that's on me. I'm setting the tone of what we're doing. Last 2 minutes, the last 2 minutes of the first half is setting the tone of what the other coach is going to say at halftime.
Yeah.
And he's not going to go all the way back and remember what happened in the first quarter.
Minutes,
He may look at the stat sheet, but that's going to impress him. And then you've got to come out in the third quarter strong. That's all coaching. First 2 minutes. They came out flat.
And that was one of the just lack of energy, lack of
That's unlike Ty
concentration.
Lue.
It is, yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. And one key player, James Harden. He's had a challenge in some previous Game 7s, but 2 for 8 with 7 points in the crunch time. When your team needs that's not acceptable. That will not win the game.
Well, that's been haunting him. A lot of pundits have been on him that he's not a baller in Game 7. When the bright light comes, when the big money on the table, he doesn't show up. It's unbelievable because this is a Hall of Famer.
Yes, undoubtedly.
Triple doubles.
King,
leading the league and everything, all world in that. Can score from anywhere. Great facilitator.
He did have 13 assists. Well, we'll give him his kudos for there. 13 assists distributed, but
Yeah, but when the
the team
money was
needs
on the
score.
table, they needed somebody to score.
Exactly. They needed a score.
And they run Kawhi Leonard. They want to shut him down. Come on, James. You got to pick it up. Sometimes you facilitate. Sometimes you let the three ball go or go to the hole. Not in the zone. We've got some awesome things happening, and but right now, let's go to the Zone Cafe. Thank you, Zoniacs, for watching the clip Who's in the Zone. And if you'd like to see the full podcast, go to Spotify or check it out in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe so we can send the show directly to you. Zoniacs, be in the zone. It's the only place to be.